So you got a motorcycle, maybe the Eliminator, maybe the Vulcan, and you've been out riding whenever you could find the time, but that 600-mile mark hit faster than you expected. No worries, you think. You call the dealer to schedule the first service, and you find out their service department is booked for months. You don't want to damage your engine with old oil, but then again, you don't want to wait that long until you go riding again. So you went to the internet to see if anyone has a video up on how to do the oil themselves at home. Lucky for you, I do. So I'm going to show you how to change the oil on the Eliminator, also show you me changing the oil on the Vulcan. It's very similar. If you can do one, you can do the other, no problem. And also, this doesn't void the warranty of the motorcycles at all, as long as you document that you did the oil change. That's protected under the Magnuson Act in the United States, so you're good there. I'll also show you just visually checking the brakes and the level of your coolant, which are two other things that would be included in the first service and are very easy. So let's get started. Before we get started, there's some things you're going to need. A funnel, a 17mm wrench, an oil filter wrench that fits. It's a Walmart brand with the part number 4213. That's on a ratchet. You'll need the oil and the oil filter, obviously. And when getting oil, do make sure that you get motorcycle oil. It is different from car oil because the oil goes in the transmission as well as the engine. You need something to catch the oil. Just a simple catch pan will do. Your personal protective equipment in the form of safety glasses and disposable gloves. And if you spill any oil on the ground, which happens more often than anyone would like to admit, you can clean it up with some kitty litter and paper towels. A whole roll of paper towels should be in your garage. And some shopping bags, just plastic shopping bags, just to cover up something that's right in the line of fire from your oil and you'd rather it not be. Just mask it with some plastic. So first thing you're going to want to do is come around to the low side, the kickstand side, and right behind there is your drain plug. Go ahead and get your catch pan situated underneath it, just right up against the side stand here. Come around to the high side, and right here you'll see the fill cap. Just take that loose. That lets the oil drain faster. Don your personal protective equipment. Go ahead and get your 17mm wrench right on the drain plug there, about as far this way as you can. Because to get it loose, you're just going to push it downward or counterclockwise. Once it's loose, take your gloved hand and just start spinning it off slowly while kind of gently pushing it in. Reason being, once you feel that unscrewing it's not doing anything anymore, pull it away and you've got your drain plug in hand. Make sure you also have this crushed gasket washer here. If you don't, you've got to go looking in the oil for it. Next, you're going to want to get your oil filter, which is right here. It's this can looking guy. That oil filter wrench will go right on over it and fit it snugly. You can tap it a couple times just to make sure it's on there good. Once you get that loose enough, it'll start drizzling oil too. Just let it happen. When you take the oil filter off, hold it downward because it still has oil in it. Get a little bit of oil on your fingertip and wipe it around the gasket here on the new filter, just so that the gasket doesn't bind when you're turning it on. You're spinning it on because it's lubricated by the oil. Get the filter spun on. It should spin on very easily if it starts to bind quickly. Back it off, tighten it again. You don't want to cross thread this. Once it's spun a couple times, the gasket will start to compress against the motor here, and you just get it nice and hand tight. Don't use a tool to tighten this, just give it some good old hand strength. Then you're going to want to put your drain plug back in, right where you got it from. Once again, do ensure that that little aluminum washer was on it. It's very important to seal the oil. You won't want to just hand tighten that. You're actually going to need to use the wrench and put a decent amount of force on it. After you take a paper towel and wipe some of the oil drips away, you're all set. You can move your catch pan away. Come back around to your fill plug, take it out, set it aside for later, and put your funnel in here. Now it's time to add the oil. So here's where your funnel was. Right here, by your right foot peg, is a sight glass. After you've added the 2 quarts of oil, it doesn't take a whole 3rd quart. That's overfilling it. So once you've added the right amount of oil, do about 1/3 of that 3rd quart. You can stand the bike upright and check to make sure that the fill level is between this lower line and this upper line. So we've used about 1/3. As you can see right now with what I added, it's over full. It looks different. It's got a little, goldish hue to it instead of the bare metal gray that I just showed you. But that's okay because it needs to run just for a little bit to fill that canister filter with oil. Now that you ran it for just 10 to 20 seconds, you can see it filled that oil filter and the level has gone down right in the middle, right where we want it. So you put the cap back on, you make sure there's no leaks. Oh no, a leak appeared a foot to the left of the front tire. That's definitely not something I put there for an example. When you come back tomorrow, it'll be absorbed. Now to check the level of coolant on the Eliminator, you're going to come down to here, where you can see there's a little reservoir with an L and an F. Now I don't know if it shows up too well on camera, but this is about the level where it's green underneath, right in between the range of the L and an F, so that's fine. You're going to want to check this while the engine's cold. While it's warm, it could give off the wrong reading. Let's say it's too low. What you'd need to do is come around to this side, use your key to remove the seat. On the underside of the seat, you'll see it has this little Allen key. Use the Allen key to remove the panel on the right side. Pull and pull. There's where to fill it. To visually check the brakes, you're going to make sure your rotors look like they're getting contact from the brake pads all around. They'll look like this kind of vinyl record groove rather than any kind of metal scabs, and you definitely don't want to see a crack running down this. That would be service it immediately. And then your pads, you see the copper backing plate, and then you see the more grayish material for the pads themselves, and they are as thick as the backing plate. They're not extremely thin, they're not worn down, so that's good. Same idea with the rears. You want to see these grooves, meaning that the pads have made contact with the rotor, and then you want to take a look at the pads and make sure they haven't worn away. Right there, you see they've got quite a bit of material left. On the Vulcan S, your reservoir is in here. It's also marked with an L and an H, and then it's filled here. So no panel removal for that one. And the brakes are pretty much the same setup. You've got to peer into there. Now we're gonna do an oil change on Claire, who's in timeout on her lift. So coming around to what would be the low side kickstand side. Right there by the side stand is oil drain plug. Oil filters in front, but a little more tucked away. Right here. And on the high side here, fill plug. And here's the sight glass. And you can see she needed the oil change. Being on the lift ensures that she's level already, so the sight glass is going to be accurate the whole time. Step 1. Don your personal protective equipment. And put the catch pan there. Fuck. Crush washer fell into the oil. There it is. Hello, my friend. Oh no, Stimpy. You idiot. If for some reason you can't use that cap wrench on the oil filter because you maybe put some aftermarket headers on and then wrapped them way too thick and way too close, you can get oil filter pliers. Now back over at the fill side, you can see that we have no oil. We have drained it all.
How much does yours take?
Well, mine's on the lift, so it takes until it's full.
It's convenient.
Mm-hmm. Because on the Vulcan it goes immediately to the sight glass, it can kind of psych you out. It's not full. You just gotta wait. Away it goes. Blah, 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 blah. That should be good. I can't imagine that the pump and the filter would take much more than that. So there you have it. A quick and easy guide to do your first oil change and your first service inspection at the comfort of your home or garage so that you can keep your bike out on the road the rest of the riding season. Hope you liked it. Let me get some movie magic. Second shot there.
But it wouldn't be moving magic because there's already oil on it.
Yeah, but you might not be able to see it. I want coffee, but my oil is too old to go to coffee. Let us change this. I am, however, appreciating that we're getting a little more. An unpaid intern at Jurassic Park has to jerk off one less T-Rex.
Ew.
That can't go in the video.
Yes, it can.